Respected colleagues, first of all, thank you for this very kind invitation to participate in this international conference on distance education and e-learning. First of all, I apologize for not being able to attend personally the conference in Islamabad. This time of the year is an extremely busy period in our university since we use e-learning solutions, and in this week, finally, we meet many of our students in view of task presentations and exams. Now, since the focus of this presentation is on how to use video in distance education e-learning formats or even in traditional higher education, I thought, why not doing, in fact, this presentation in a virtual way? So I'm virtually present in your university. Now, where do I want to end with this presentation? Well, first of all, I want to show you how innovations in higher education can start very small, and already upgrading existing face-to-face courses with small video solutions could already be a very nice stepping stone. Next, I really want to emphasize that your traditional course can benefit from this and can easily be upgraded. And also, I will try to show you by practical examples and by referring to the literature and our own research that video-based solutions can be extremely effective, efficient, and satisfying for different parties. And finally, I want to stress that, especially in this context, the teacher stays and remains in control. Now, first of all, I don't want immediately to push e-learning, so I don't want to replace traditional education right from the start. Also, I don't want to move completely to MOOCs, these massive online open courses. No, I rather want to emphasize that by using, in fact, video clips in traditional courses, that already there we can, in fact, make a minor and even a major improvement in view of educational performance. Now, take care. When we talk about video-based solutions, there are many ways to embed video clips, full videos in courses. Today, I will mainly focus on these small knowledge video clips and, on the other hand, on these full lecture capturing solutions. Now, let's look at knowledge clips. And I will try to do that immediately by looking at an example. It's an introductory course, it's an undergraduate course, first year. There are about 180 students enrolled in this course. It's quite a heavy course, 150 hours of study time, 5 credits, strongly theoretical, a very important handbook has to be studied by the students, and we have 10 weekly sessions, Monday afternoon. Now, what's the role of this meeting? Well, the role of this meeting is heavily influenced by what we do online with the students. And in this example, I will move, in fact, first of all, to these weekly video clips. In these weekly knowledge clips, snippets, introduction videos, we try to set the scene for the students. In maximum 10 minutes, we present the overview of what's happening in this course. And the idea is now just to show you how this works in practice. So I'm going to a certain chapter. Let's say, why not going to the session of next week, okay, in this course. So I go to course, the last theme, evaluation, we will deal with next week. And then you will see on this web page that there is this introductory video clip. I will move a little bit in the video clip, and then you will see how I introduce in 9 minutes and 37 seconds the topic of this course. I use a mind map. It's the same mind map we use in the handbook, the mind map being used in a PowerPoint slide, the mind map used in also real-life sessions. And we set the scene for the students. In this way, they can even explore independently the course beforehand. And I will return to that later. Now, let's organize this. The big question is, what will students do? Well, let's see what more we can do by giving you again a second example of the use of video clip, and even in relation to the same course. I repeat, it's 180 students taking this course. And many of you might wonder, will students really use these video clips? Will they be active? Well, one way to be sure about this is to activate the students through the video clips. And let's look again at the example. Now, here you see, again, a video clip in which we present to the students a clear task. And now this task in fact requires students to screen completely, to study even completely the topic of this course. I introduce them to 5 journal articles, and they have to read these journal articles, okay? And they have to link these 5 journal articles to the course being studied that week. For instance, each year the theme is about evaluation. Well, the students have to link the complete course, this complete theme, to these 5 articles and prepare their presentation for the next week. Okay. And this is only a very short video clip. It's only 3 minutes and 41 seconds. The big thing is then, of course, what will happen the next week? Well, the next week we will use this video clip from the perspective of a flipped classroom. I will not teach the content. No, on the basis of the preparatory work, the introduction video clip, and the video task, I will only discuss with the students actually their elaboration of the task. And many of you will question whether after simply looking at the video clip and after looking at this preparatory video clip in view of the task, whether students will do this. Well, we can actually screen completely the work of our students. We see when they work in our environment. And here you see on this graph how many students at what stage in the week before the course, this is the case of last year, actually carry out the task. You see the evaluation task, or actually the task in which they have to apply all the knowledge of the team. And you see out of 180 students, 157 students actually participated in the task. Moreover, we can see the classroom attendance. Nearly a 95% attendance was observed in the class. Students really want to focus on these topics. Now, the question is, does it overall have an impact on learning? Well, there's a lot of research about video clips. And this research immediately emphasizes that already these small changes, as exemplified here, already have an impact, because it immediately optimizes your traditional face-to-face learning approach. Most studies even compare these video clip solutions, or flipped classroom solutions as exemplified here, compare these with other approaches. Now, simply look at our own research, for instance, set up in the Vietnamese context, where we set up the course in a complete e-learning way, the same course in a full face-to-face way, the same course in a traditional blended learning, so first face-to-face, and then you work online, or the flipped classroom approach, where the students first work online and then come to the classroom. And already from this graph, you can see immediately how the flipped classroom has or results in superior performance, but also the traditional blended learning in fact results in superior performance, showing that adding these video clips beforehand or afterwards could have an impact. Now, here you see other studies, and you see that in fact they always repeat that adding the video, okay, is important and can have an impact. The only thing is, it really also stresses that they have to be carefully constructed. And one of the key elements in construction them is not to make them too lengthy. Let's move to the second topic, lecture capturing. Now, lecture capturing is again a solution that in our context is an established approach. In every large classroom, we can automatically record, in fact, what's happening. So it means if I go back to my course, the students can also, in fact, let's see, a session in the past, in November this year, you will see you have the introductory video clip, but you can also, in fact, check the actual recording of the session in the classroom. Okay. Of course, since this is rather private information, not to be distributed outside the university, you first have to log into a system so that privacy and, in fact, authentication and so on is being guaranteed. But the key element is that the students as such have, after the actual face-to-face session, have full access to the complete recording of the course. I repeat, it's a standard provision in our university, in most large lecture halls. It's automatic once you allow to schedule it. But still, the professor always decides whether the actual capturing will be released. And you can also process them. Of course, the question is again, will this be used by the students? And again, you will see that the research is very clear. But important is to see that the lecture capturing is used in many ways by students. It's a solution for particular students. For instance, here you see it's an additional resource. The students will use it especially to review the materials. It will allow students more flexibility, and so on and so on. What we especially see in the literature is that there is no negative impact on classroom attendance. And we see a clear impact on the actual processing of the learning. We also see a higher scores on the final exam. And we see a more in-depth processing by the students of the content because there is more frequent interaction with the actual content. Now, when I move to an example, I will move to a rather large-scale course with about 390 students, where we always, in fact, record these 5 to 6 face-to-face sessions. These sessions, well, they mainly focus on guest lectures. Now, I have to stress, these are rather advanced students already in the 4th, 5th year of their program, or some of them already work and then take this course as a further professional development. On average, you will see in the classroom 200 students being present out of 390. And then we have two types of recordings. We have the traditional introductory knowledge clip, 14 to 15 minutes, with a clear linkage to the mind map, but we also have the complete recording. Now, what you see here is that this knowledge clip, out of nearly 400 students, is in fact consulted by 246 students. When we move to the lecture capturing, you see here that about 176 students attend this captured lecture. And this is about the number of students who were not present in the classroom. Okay. So you see that, in fact, the impact is quite clear. And I want to wrap up now to conclude and to inform you that there's a lot of research about lecturing. For instance, here in a recent article in Science, there was a short reiteration of an existing study, a meta-analysis of 225 studies, in which they analyzed the research in which lecturers, in their lecture, moved away from traditional lecturing and moved to more active teaching techniques, in which especially the use of video clips and so on was introduced. And immediately, all these studies clearly states that there is a clear impact with average effect sizes of 0.47 even to 1.95, in fact, effect size. This is in the field of science, engineering, and mathematics. These are tough domains that were traditionally, very traditionally taught, but where we see that moving, in fact, to e-learning and distance education solutions has, in fact, activated and innovated the normal, traditional classroom. I have to emphasize, in all this, it's the teacher who is in control. He or she authorizes and controls the distribution of the lecture capturing. And when it comes to the knowledge clips, it's in fact, again, the teacher who is in control. Actually, I'm now using the solution we use as standard software in our university with free licenses for all the staff. Next, we have a very, very large video server provision in our university to distribute all these materials, and we provide on-demand professional development for individuals and staff. This is the software we use to produce all these video clips. Thank you again, and I repeat my conclusions. Innovation in higher education can start at a very small level. Upgrading existing courses is in fact a very nice stepping stone towards e-learning and distance education solutions. And I want to emphasize that your traditional courses can easily be upgraded. And the use of video is effective, efficient, and satisfying for most of the actors. Moreover, you as a teacher, you remain in control. Thank you and good luck with the remainder of the conference.